It's no secret that Stephen Curry is one of the greatest players of all time. Over the span of his 14 years in the league, he has made a habit of making his opponents look silly. Here are 10 times Stephen Curry embarrassed his opponents. Number 10. Curry would come face-to-face with a defensive monster, multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert. In Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, the Warriors would go up against the Utah Jazz. Eventually, on one fatal possession, Gobert found himself out on an island with the man himself, Steph Curry. This went exactly as everyone expected it to. Curry turned him into a professional ballerina. Number 9. Julius Randle is an all-star. He's averaged over 20 points per game in his last 3 seasons. The Kentucky product is a strong athlete who imposes his will on any defender who dares to step in his path. But unfortunately, none of that matters when you're playing Stephen Wardell Curry. Number 8. We know Curry has insane handles, but for number 8 he would do something I don't think we've ever seen before. On January 5, 2019, the Warriors faced off against the Sacramento Kings. The score was 119-117, with a little over 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. When Curry caught the ball on the right wing, he took a simple jab step, which resulted in his defender falling to the floor, completely touching the earth with his entire body.
Just over 2 minutes left.
Number 7. While we're on the topic of the Kings, we have to talk about the Kings vs. Warriors' most recent playoff match. Curry would pull off one of the most disrespectful celebrations of all time. The Sacramento Kings were one of the most dynamic teams in the league, led by De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, not to mention the flamethrower of a shooter Malik Monk. The Kings had a tradition where they would light the beam after a win, but if there's one player to rain on your parade, it was Steph Curry. After dropping an insane 50 points on their heads in Game 7, he signaled to light the beam. Yeah, that guy Curry is a savage. Number 6. We have to time travel 10 years into the past, when the Golden State Warriors faced off against the Indiana Pacers. On a fast break, Stephen Curry performed a fake left and made Pacers guard George Hill fall backward. That wasn't even the best part about this clip, because the announcers made it 10 times better. Stephen Curry was on a mission to destroy his opponents in this particular game. He would then go on to put on a dribbling virtuoso. Yeah, you know, legend says Tyler Hansbrough is still looking for the ball to this day. Number 5. Old Curry was just different, but the Curry we have now is still nothing short of amazing, making the number 5 moment when Steph absolutely dominated in the 2021 NBA Finals. And this was a statement series for Curry. You see, after losing in 2019, everyone thought that the dynasty was over. Klay Thompson tore his ACL, and the Slim Reaper Kevin Durant would go to the Brooklyn Nets. Then to make matters worse, Stephen Curry only played 5 games due to a broken hand. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. Their best player and leader was D'Angelo Russell, which should tell you everything you need to know about that team that year. It looked as if things would never get better, with media members such as Kendrick Perkins saying they would never win a championship again. This didn't age well. Steph would go on to average 31 points, shooting a ridiculous 43% from 3 on 11 attempts per game. He turned the court into his personal playground, and the talented Boston roster had no answer for the greatest point guard of this generation. Dare I say, maybe even all time. Number 4. One of the most iconic crossovers in NBA history. On March 31st, 2015, the Golden State Warriors went up against Chris Paul's Los Angeles Clippers. This game was huge, and considered a rivalry after the Clippers beat the Warriors in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. So, of course, the baby-faced assassin took that personally. After driving baseline, he would make the point guard fall to the floor with a quick behind-the-back move. What's worse is he still made the shot, which had CP3 playing Twister, left hand on green. To further add salt to the wound, the Warriors won that game 110-106 and won the entire series in just 4 games. Number 3. Damian Lillard is without a doubt one of the most difficult opponents Steph has ever faced. While Dame hasn't had much postseason success against him, it's always extremely fascinating to watch the two go head-to-head, due to them having similar skill sets. They both are shockingly accurate shooters from deep, and they're usually very quiet on the court, letting their games do the talking for them. I heard someone say Dame is basically Steph if he never got drafted by the Warriors, and I honestly can see some truth in that. But at the same time, there's only one Stephen Curry. One night, Dame was on the wrong end of Curry's killer crossovers. Number 2. In just Curry's 4th season in the NBA, this would be the game that many claim to have put him on the map. It was 2013 versus the New York Knicks, led by Carmelo Anthony. This was a heavily anticipated matchup. Two electrifying scorers were about to go head-to-head, and young Steph definitely didn't let the pressure get inside his head. He erupted with 54 points, shooting an unheard of 11 for 13 from 3 and 18 for 28 from the field. Not to mention he dished out 7 assists and grabbed 6 boards in the process. Although this wasn't enough to secure the win, due to Carmelo Anthony dropping 35 points, this game was one for the history books for sure. Number 1. We got razzle-dazzle at its best in Game 2 in the 2017 NBA Finals versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is when Kevin Durant hit the deep three-pointer in LeBron James's grill. While that's most likely the most memorable moment of that historic series, we cannot forget 6'3" Steph put James in a blender and cooked him. He made even the best player in the world think twice about ever trying to guard him. This series was supposed to be close according to NBA experts, even though an ESPN analyst gave the Cleveland Cavaliers a 7% chance of beating the Dubs. They were stacked. It's no better way to put it. And KD and Steph took turns obliterating arguably the greatest player of all time. They swept them in just 4 games. Yeah, what we can all learn from today's video is to never doubt or underestimate the skinny kid from Davidson.